So, we are going to go ahead with Just Listen, or the summary of Just Listen by Mark Goulston, if I remembered it correctly, and I'm hopefully also pronouncing it in the correct way. But the funny thing is, I wasn't able to fucking get to this fucking summary with the other browser that I'm normally using for recording the videos. I don't actually know why I'm doing this. I think in the very first beginning there has been some problems with Chrome, and it wasn't just showing up and I wasn't able to kind of select it for just recording it. And now everything is working quite fine. I don't just know why. But the thing is, here I'm having the fucking summary. But if I just go to the exact same motherfucking link on the other browser, it's like just not there. You know, I just get redirected to just the main site or some shit. I don't understand it, you know, this is my point. But we're just gonna go ahead, and I'm actually very happy to talk about that. So yeah, Just Listen key ID 5. Showing vulnerability is empowering and gives others the chance to listen to us. One of the most difficult parts of becoming a good communicator is accepting your vulnerability. However, your vulnerability is a tool. When you show vulnerable emotions like helplessness or fear, you give others the chance to connect and also respond. As we've seen, mirroring is a critical part of identifying with others. However, others can only mirror what you show them, so if you hide your emotions, you won't be truly understood. Imagine you're nervous about a big presentation, but you also feel ashamed of being so nervous. Your colleague makes an insensitive remark to you and you respond with anger. Because you're showing anger, you're more likely to get anger in return. Which just makes sense. Sorry. And I don't know, like I think in general it is like, whatever somebody's saying, responding in a positive way or responding with positive emotions is always going to be a good idea. It's always going to be something that makes sense, I guess, at least. You know, whether it is the officer that is just pulling you over and is like, well, what did you do, you motherfucker? And then just being nice and being like, well, you know, I'm actually very sorry and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. Of course, I mean, just because I'm thinking about it, if the officer is indeed like, you know, what were you doing and stuff like that, and you're like, well, I don't know. I mean, my mother is in hospital and stuff like that, and I was really angry about that, and just really kind of talking about your feelings and talk about like what things are going on, if it is honest. If it is not honest and you're just speeding because you're fucking dumbest, then just also admit it in that way, maybe. But don't lie. I just really don't appreciate lying, and I don't also think that it is necessary, and I don't also think that we should ever be doing it. Sometimes it makes sense, to be honest, like in some situations it can make things better, but these situations are very rare, and it's probably also or only gonna make things better in the now or in the present. But in the future, I don't really know. Of course, there's also gonna be some situations where it is gonna be better in the future because of that. And so yeah, but I just don't appreciate it. However, if you had instead shown your genuine emotions, for example, your nervousness, your colleague probably would have been able to empathize with you and boost your confidence before the meeting. Furthermore, giving others the opportunity to show their vulnerability enables you both to explore what is behind the emotions. Picture the following scenario. One day at a hectic law firm, an associate breaks out into tears because that morning, as he was leaving for work, his daughter started crying and said she hated him. His boss walks by and sees him in distress. Although she would have ignored breakdowns like these in the past, she instead decides to go into his office. She tells him that she understands how difficult it is to balance work and family, and that she's working to make the firm more family friendly. In the past, the firm's attorneys had worked so much that they hardly saw their kids, an especially difficult situation for parents with young children. Hearing this, the associate continues to cry and tells her that he's started smoking again and he's gained weight. By allowing her employees to freely express their vulnerability, the boss showed them that she cares for their well-being and thus earned more trust and openness from their employees, and probably also respect. I don't know. Probably. And I think it's an amazing thing. And I don't know. I always try to be there for people emotionally and just in some other ways, because I don't know, I feel really good about that. And I also feel like, well, you know, if there's something that I can help with, then I'm fucking happy to help you with whatever it might be. And of course, communicating that is something else. Being like, okay, you know, I'm always going to be there for you and always going to just help you, whatever is just going on in your life and whatnot, which can obviously be true and the truth. But yeah, I don't know. Not too many people are really gonna come to you, especially if they're not really familiar with you and if you're just not really their best friend or some shit. But I don't know. I feel exactly that way, and I also think, and I've been talking to a colleague of mine. More, yeah, let's call it friend. You know, for me, colleague is like, you know, just somebody that I know. The thing is, I said like, well, you know, if there's something going on with anybody in class, then I would just be like, well, you can talk to me and just I listen if you wanna. But I don't know. I know if I'm saying this to people, then first of all, once again, nobody would actually do that, and I understand that and know that. And second of all, they all would just think that I'm a fucking dumbass. Nah, I don't know. But not a lot of people are gonna take advantage of that, I guess. Just listen key ID 6. When you level with others, they'll be more relaxed and open for dialogue. If there's one thing we all love talking about, it's ourselves. And you can use this to your advantage when you want people to open up and become invested in your interaction. Using questions to establish an atmosphere of equality with your conversation partner will create a strong connection. One way to do this is with the side-by-side approach, in which you ask a question during a shared moment and then follow up with more questions to deepen the connection. Imagine a father and a son in a car driving somewhere together. On what would usually be a mundane drive, this time the father surprises his son by asking which of his friends he thinks will get into trouble later in life. Well, this is an amazing question you can ask your son, you know. The son is intrigued and answers that he thinks it will be his friend Michael. Why? His father asks. By the way, why is not just the best question. Not always. I think in this sense, it is good, but it is not always the best question. You should probably think about something else. Why? His father asks. Because his son replies, Michael's parents have split up and he's already been in trouble. The father then asks what he would do if his friend got into trouble, and the conversation continues from there. By asking questions that demonstrate interest rather than boring his son with questions about grades, the father got his son to open up to him about deeper issues like friendship and loyalty. Demonstrating real interest in others will make them feel vulnerable, valuable, and thus bring the dialogue to a deeper level. For example, which of the following questions do you think is a better pitch for a drug rep? Well, hi Dr. X, do you have a minute to discuss the benefits of a new drug? Or, excuse me, Dr. X, do you mind if I ask you something personal? I just wanted to know if you still have fun as a doctor. It's probably going to be the first one. No, it's going to be obviously the second one that is better. The first pitch allows a familiar pattern, while the second breaks that pattern with something unexpected, which is always something good. And I don't know, being asked the exact same fucking question every singular fucking day whenever you meet somebody, it's going to be boring in the end. The drug rep demonstrates interest in a hard-working doctor. In summary, since the majority of our interactions follow familiar patterns, it is precisely by breaking these patterns that we can open up and deepen our connections, which is definitely the case. And you'll just know people better. And it is precisely something that Dale Carnegie in his book How to Win Friends and Influence People said, which is being genuinely interested in people. Therefore asking questions, therefore just letting them talk more than you talk, and you're just gonna listen, because it is all about just listening. Ha ha ha. But it is indeed about just listening. Just listening, key idea 7, the best way to make others feel understood and valued is through empathy. Although we have seen examples of how powerful empathy can be, showing empathy isn't always intuitive. Here's a script you can follow that will guide you towards empathy. First, attach an emotion to what your conversation partner is feeling. Let's use anger as an example. Next, ask him or her if your perceptions are accurate by saying something like, am I trying to get a sense of what you're feeling and I think it's anger? Is that correct? If not, what are you feeling? Then once you have established with emotion they are feeling, ask, how angry are you? Be prepared for an emotional response and allow plenty of time for the answer. Remember, this isn't about you, so don't get defensive. Next, find out why they're angry by saying something like, and the reason you're so angry is because, ? After they've answered, say, tell me, what's need to happen for that feeling to feel better? I think one of the best things to keep in mind, though, is that you're not a fucking therapist, and that and also to know when to stop asking questions. You know, at some point, those people might be like talking on their own, So there is no need for further questions and stuff. And I don't know, I think asking too many questions is not always the best thing. Finally, find out how the two of you can work together to move forward. Ask, what can I do to make that happen? What can you do to make that happen? By demonstrating empathy, your conversation partner will feel felt, thus allowing you both to connect and move forward together. Imagine two agents whose persistent pickering hurts their firm. The young of the two is extremely gifted in acquiring new clients and brags about rubbing elbows with celebrities. The older one is great at handling these clients and finds the other agent conceited and distracting. The two go to a mediator who hears them out and determines that the younger agent isn't being felt. In fact, he's just looking for some acknowledgement. He wants support and not attention. Sure enough, it is true, as the young agent weeps, the older one soothes him by telling him how much respect he has for him. That is why he's his partner. They both promise not to be so loud and patronizing to one another, and the firm recovers. And now there is a little tiny review of the book, actually. In review, just listen book summary. The key message in this book. Although it might feel counterintuitive, the best way to get people to listen and become receptive to your ideas is to listen to them first. Listening allows you to create a shared connection between you and your conversation partner that opens them up to your ideas. Actionable advice: don't be afraid to be vulnerable. If you ever feel afraid, nervous, or distressed about something, don't pretend you're not and try to hide it. By being honest with your emotions, you can create stronger bonds with your conversation partner and open up lines of communication, thus making everyone feel better and understood. That's more, they will respect your courage and integrity and even find you more trustworthy. Suggested further reading: Influenced by Robert Cialdini, since I think he's Italian. Influence explains in detail the fundamental principles of persuasion that gets us to say yes, including how they are used against us by compliance professionals like salesmen, advertisers, and con artists. Knowing these principles will allow you both to become a skilled persuader yourself and to defend yourself against manipulation attempts. And yeah, the question is, what are we gonna do now? I could end the episode there, but I don't know. Maybe I should. I do. So and of course it is loading. You know, what should I have expected? If this makes sense, probably not. But the thing is, what could you do? What could you say in particular as well? What could you make? What could you create? What could you build? What could you accomplish to really make somebody's day or life or month? Because there's probably something, you know, there's at least something that you can say, like, you're looking very good today. You know, I really like this jacket. And of course, if you're just giving a compliment to somebody, being specific is the kind of most important thing there. Because if you're like, well, you've done this really great, they're going to be like, well, yeah, thank you. You know, it is one of these things that everyone is saying and everyone is talking about and everyone is kind of communicating. But if you're like, well, I really like this jacket. It's an amazing color and really it really fits your body as well. And it really is a color that is complementing your natural shape. I don't know. You know, you just don't have to overdo it as well. But being specific, you know, and pointing things out that you truly appreciate. And there is definitely also something, I guess. You know, I really believe that there is something that you think about, but the problem is we often think about things, but we're never ever saying it because of whatever reason, you know, because of whatever dumb reason, actually. But yeah, anyway, I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to write yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person, and then also being remembered as a nice person, which is a good thing. On the other hand, 3 other questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change, and what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty cool thing and a pretty fucking important thing, because purpose per se, really important. Without purpose, there is not a lot of things to indeed actually look forward to, which is kind of the definition of purpose, kind of, to some degree as well. Anyway, 3 other questions that I have for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business. Have I already said that? I think I have. Or I have and then I've mixed it up. Well, anyway, whether I've said it 1 time or 2 times, I wish you the best, and I really do care about you, and thank you very much for going through this with me, spending the time with me, and yeah, I hope that you've learned something, and I hope that I've been able to just share some important things. But yeah, with that being said, I'll see you the next time. Bye bye, stay healthy, cool, and everything else.